going to bring us in. Sound good? And if that gets too loud for you, you can always tune it up or down with there's a little knob.
I don't hear no but the music. I don't hear you. I don't hear you.
Take off your headphones for a second.
Take them off?
Yeah, just for a second. If that gets too loud, there's a little adjustment right there on the cord right below you. So you can tune that up so you can hear properly. You can
turn it down. Turn down a little bit. Okay, now, as I supposed to hear you in these two bills?
You will.
Oh, I just don't hear him right now.
Right now, right, because we're not talking into the mic.
Okay, I know he's talking, but I didn't hear it over here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You hear me in a second. Yeah, we want to wreck it a little bit.
How with the old and with the new?
Hey. Happy Saturday, everybody. This is a Revolution and Beer Weekend show. Brian Murray, finally.
Back in
And Dr. K for a couple of weeks on end here.
Yeah.
This is the Revolution and Beer Weekend show.
I've been
Welcome
missing
back.
my beer money.
I know. Been missing, let's get to it, by the way. Been missing beer. We'll tell you about that beer here in just a moment. A lot going on the show today. We've got Brian. You've got a awesome guest coming up.
Yeah, Rob Poe's going to be coming on to talk with us about foraging and poaching in the wild and conservation and some issues related to that. Also about the nature disparity, like access to nature, not being able to get out into nature and what that does to not only children, which is really important, but also to us.
Awesome.
So
that's coming up in the second hour. We're also going to do random weather.
All right.
And it might be rascal weather because we've been calling rascal a lot, but we miss rascals. So.
Oh yeah.
But coming up in just a moment here before we get some other stuff out of the way. Our good friend Mike Henderson is sitting in the studio with us. Hi, Michael.
How you doing? All right,
doing
Bill.
okay,
How you
buddy?
feel? All right.
You know what? I'm. It's nice to see you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Same here.
Same
Just
here.
making it all the way in to see us.
Yes.
And I wish you were a beer drinking man.
No, I don't drink.
Everyone's got their limits. That's good.
I know. It's been a busy week.
It's been a very busy week.
And we are a non-Ebola zone here. So. Also coming up. We
are all thoroughly sanitized, disinfected prior to walking into the studio here. This is a airtight vac seal facility.
That's
and
it.
Feeling like I'm in ET or something right now.
Cheers, mate.
Sorry, I jumped the gun. Cheers.
No, that's quite all right. We're doing today. We're doing Big Leaf Maple. I pulled that out. I did. If folks go to Revolution and Beer on Facebook or revolutionandbeer.com, you'll find this. Or you can go to YouTube and search Revolution and Beer. You'll see all of our videos there. Last year, this time, I was standing. Just when this beer came out, I was standing in Lake Superior, Michael. It was about the water temperature was about 45 degrees. It was a little bit warmer for the air temperature, but a front is coming through, and you can see it in the video with this massive wall cloud sweeping across the lake towards me, and in a moment the waves came up and the temperature dropped about 20 degrees. But I do the perfect pour on camera of this particular beer, and then talk about the beer while I'm standing chest deep in water in Lake Superior. So just a little silly, but it was Big Leaf Maple, and it's a really good fall beer. And we've been doing we've got one or two here, but we've been doing the pumpkin beers, and we've been doing the Oktoberfest beers, and everybody's going to be talking about the pumpkin beers. Everybody's going to be talking about the Oktoberfest beers, but there are some other really good fall beers out there, and this was one of them that I wanted to talk about. This is from Anchor Brewing, by the way. A really good full body. You get a little bit of that maple, You get a nice little hoppiness to it that makes it feel like fall. And I was doing some food pairing and some silliness on that. What do you got, pal?
Well, what I brought in to enjoy today, I brought one of Brooklyn's pumpkin beers, the Post Road Pumpkin Ale, and I'm extremely partial to pumpkin, and I think it has something to do with the nutmeg.
Okay.
It's really good, but I found a few other good ones this year, and for one that's not, pumpkin is an imperial. It's about 7.5%, 8% ABV.
Nice.
But a lot of these are much more down around 5. This is one that's down around 5, and it still maintains sort of the body and the character, the sweetness, but it's a little bit lighter, so it's really good. So I brought that for you.
Nice. Well, thank you for that.
And then
I'm trying to get us into our Facebook here while you're.
Oh yeah, fumbling with Facebook.
Yeah.
1090. I brought in this Imperial Porter. Now I've been
Nice.
been kind of addicted to this one over the last month or so. It's ale brewed with cayenne and pomegranate juice, and it's got a bite, and it is just way too good. So
I'm interested for a little bit of taste of that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Also, coming up at, we're on till 1 p.m. From 1 to 4, Flabby Hoffman's Radio Extravaganza. You will not find Chicago's best comics and comedians anywhere else on the radio dial, but right here at Q4 Radio, AM 1680. And then after that, Summer Hale, the beautiful and amazing Summer Hale. And Drew Prince, and I don't want to be sexist, and out of fear of sexual harassment issues, Drew Prince also lovely and attractive. But they're coming up.
Yourself, buddy.
But they're coming up from 4 to 6 from Magic Radio Chicago. Everything you wanted to know about the occult and the mysterious and astrology. This is the place to be. And then coming up at 7 for funk and soul and hip hop, the beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and you know what? You can go ahead and sue me for it. The absolutely beautiful and amazing Sierra Candia with Candia Boulevard. That's coming up from 7 and 9 today. Only here on your home for activism and the arts.
Q4 Radio.
Before we get to Michael.
Q4.org.
And folks can give us a call here at the station if they like. It's going to be a very, very busy conversation here today at 312-985-7834. That's 312-985-7834. And there was one thing I wanted, before we get to Michael real quick, I saw this and was blown away by this this piece about Neil deGrasse Tyson, and how the right is going after him. That he was okay when he was just a mild-mannered black guy talking about stars and space and things that nobody really has to care about. But as soon as he got into
serious.
but as soon as he got into the climate debate, now they're all after him. There's a cottage industry scarcely larger than a hamlet of conservative writers and self-declared influencers whose goal du jour is to take down astrophysicist and popular, really, really smart guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Tyson, whose fan base is as wide and deep as and as boundless as the universe, annoys and scares the bejeebers out of the 27% of America who find the acceptance of anthropogenic climate change, that's person-caused, people-caused, to say nothing of science, which was once memorably described as a bunch of blank a-holes trying to prove blank, it starts with an S and ends with a T, that I can't say on the radio here, to be as distasteful as military enlistment, exercise, and a proper diet. And then this goes on, but just because it's really odd to me that they've really ratcheted up the attacks for anybody who's talking about climate change. And you and I on the car ride in, we're talking about the protest last week in New York, and how Fox bent over backwards. I mean, they had to make up stories not to cover it at all.
Well, I read an article where they estimated size of the crowd was 500,000. I don't know. I wasn't there, and I haven't checked that across several other sources. But if that was any sort of official statement of crowd size, that's probably very conservative.
400,000 is what I heard.
Right, which is what that's and that's exactly the number they said about the 2004 Republican National Convention in New York. And I know for a fact, because I was there, that it was way more than that.
And that was how that was. By the way, that was from the authorities. That's from the police department. That's from the city of New York. And I know everybody says, well, there's a reason that they count protests like that and the number of protesters, because they know, first of all, how many garbage trucks to deploy to clean up after the protest, how many streets to close down, how to reroute traffic, how to assign police and first responders and ambulance folks, and
just headphones.
Yeah, sort of hopping in and out. So I mean, it's not just an effort to see how many people are there, so you can one up the previous protest. There's a purpose behind counting the number of people in a protest. So I wanted to bring that up. But I also, because we're going to be really tight on time here, and I didn't want to spend too much time on ancillary stuff. So if you've got something, we should probably blow through it here pretty quickly, and making sure. I'm just going to turn up the volume here just a little bit, because I don't feel like the feed is coming through as strongly as it should.
Yeah, good idea. I think the headphones are crapping out here.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm actually really interested in checking to see what Mike's got to say, because I want to hear what.
And that's what I wanted to do. If I could trouble you one more time, just to make sure that the camera is running over there, only because we're doing this. Michael, for folks who are just tuning in or might not know, Mike Henderson has been going through foreclosure on his home for 10 years. Actually more than 10 years now. Yes. 10 very, very long years. And there we go. I'm popping up my microphone a little bit here, making sure that we're being heard over the radio. More than 10 very long years. I'm going to lose the microphones here because it's a little bit distracting. So that we can have a proper conversation here. Part of what we want to do today is we want to hit the powers that are trying to go after your home from a couple of different angles. I'm going to write up a piece. I think you brought in some information for me, but you're going to talk a little bit about where your case is right now. You have been illegally foreclosed on, but you've ended up in this gigantic maze of trying to make sense out of that, first of all, and then trying to turn the tables on those people who are trying to illegally take away your home. Did I characterize that correctly?
Right.
Okay. Now, the other side to this, they're welcome to come in and state their case.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going to say up front, without them being here to state their case, everything that we say in this room today is contentious.
Okay.
And that they have a right to defend themselves, they have a right to come back. But the one thing I will say is that the evidence that you've compiled, and I've seen a great deal of that evidence, has been meticulously compiled. And it's not just what you say and what you think and what you feel, and we'll get into all of that here a little bit. But you back that up with a voluminous amount of paperwork, with an unbelievable amount of paperwork. Am I getting
right? With date documents. These are date documents, not Michael Henderson. These is the neighborhood housing, neighborhood lending, MB Financial Bank.
Yeah.
Understand? It shows that these people been going in court for a while, taking people home. I got where they got papers where they foreclosed on neighborhood housing, foreclosed on someone.
Yeah.
which they is a 501(c), non-for-profit. They don't have a license to do servicing.
Yep.
They don't have a license to do mortgages. You understand? But
the allegations you make up, that you're telling us, the allegations that you make are not things that you've made up.
No.
You have paperwork on this.
Right. These is they paperwork. These is court documents. Understand? Of other people and stuff. These is legal documents. These is court cases that they took houses. Well, they took one person's house for $50,000 $50,000.
Yeah.
And then they turned around and sold it after they got the deed to it for $126,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We've seen a lot of this. We saw this with Mary Bonelli and the bank that she was dealing with, in which they were making the payments. The bank stopped accepting the payments. By the time Mary and her sister caught up with that, the property had been sold to someone else. In the middle of trying to figure that maze out, that other entity foreclosed on them, and she fought to keep her house.
Okay.
And she was suffering with cancer. She died sadly last month, and you're gonna hear in your headphones that it's gonna keep popping out.
Uh-huh.
If that gets distracting for you, just take them off and we'll just have a conversation.
Okay.
So they'll hear us fine over the microphone,
Okay.
but it might be easier, it might be less distracting otherwise, to go that route.
Okay.
Then we can just have a normal conversation.
All right. So the young lady died. Huh?
The young lady died. So this is not without precedent. This is what they've been doing to people.
Right.
And not, and I've gone round and round with a number of people. Well, they must have done something wrong. They must have done something wrong.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, no, a lot of people have not done anything wrong and
Right.
still ended up on the short end of this.
Right.
To really bring people up so that we can get into the meat of what was going on with what's going on with your case currently, is you sort of hit a wall at one point, and you turned the tables by suing them.
Right. I filed a suit.
And that not only bought you time, but it bought you it brought you some additional opportunities, but it's also helped keep you in your home. Is
Right.
that correct?
Right.
So where are you now with that lawsuit?
Well, I'm back in the court,
Okay.
in the circuit court. Understand? But like I state, understand the circuit court is breaking more laws than the people covering up their illegal acts.
Mhm.
Because I done sent documents to everyone in the circuit court. Understand? Maybe 18 judicial judges
Yeah.
showing this fraud and stuff, and it don't make sense because these papers show this fraud.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It shows they didn't took it all the way through the court.
Yeah.
So this make the courts participating in their illegal activities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You are participating. You helping them doing wrong. You upholding their wrong.
Yeah.
You understand? Instead of upholding the Constitution of the United States
Yeah.
and applying the law.
Yeah.
You're not doing that. And these documents I've been putting in front of you, whether you choose to act like you don't see them, I sent them to you. I'm Judge Evans. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
The circuit court judges, different judges. Judge McCobius, he the one stopped some more lawyer firms or something from filing foreclosure until they correct documents and stuff. But it's so much these people have done. Neighborhood Housing Service of Chicago and Neighborhood Lending Service Chicago have been doing mortgage fraud.
Yeah.
This is their game. They play it like this. Everybody, if you go to someone, they say, oh, well, neighborhood lending is the lending arm of neighborhood housing. Because neighborhood housing is a 501(c),
Right.
non-for-profit public charity.
Right.
They don't pay taxes. They can't do mortgages. They can't do servicing. They can't do none of that.
Right.
That ain't what they for. So now, they act like me and you driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Understand? Police pull us over. I don't have license. Bill, jump up under the wheel because Bill got license. You understand? Because neighborhood lending got a license to lend.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But neighborhood housing does not. On my documents, it's all neighborhood housing, Service of Chicago. Okay? On these papers. And then I got cases where they've been going in court right here in front of me to show you and prove to you that what I'm saying is true. Understand? I got the license right here.
Yep.
I got the residential mortgage that they had me sign where they inflated my income. You understand? They gave me to pay back $350,000 in 1 year, but they supposed to help you. They HUD certified counselors.
Folks, and I just want everybody at home to know you've got a stack of papers
right
in front of you. These are legal papers. These are papers that you got either from lenders or from the court or from multiple official sources.
Right.
Multiple legally recognized sources, and you've compiled them into a folder of evidence. And there are no gaps in any of that evidence. You followed that through step by step by step.
Right. So this is a truth in lending.
Yeah.
Neighborhood housing service of Chicago. Micke Henderson. You got to pay back $350,000 in 1 year.
Yeah.
These are the truth in lending. These are they licensed. They license. No, they are non-for-profit.
Yes.
Public charity. They not supposed to be doing nothing. The states is in their license. They not supposed to be doing nothing else but what they got a license to do.
Right.
You understand? So they committing fraud because if you check the recorder deed, you'll see how many mortgages Neighborhood Housing Services Chicago got.
And you've been to Lisa Madigan.
I've been to Lisa Madigan. Bill, I've been to Lisa Madigan more than 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
You understand? I done been to Kirk, Danny Davis, most of all the senators, the congressmen. President Obama was a senator then.
Yeah.
He wasn't a president when I first went to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a president.
Why
of the
do you
United States.
Why do you feel that none of these people have stepped up to first of all look at your evidence, and then to help you?
Well, I could say they didn't look at it in front of me, but I sent it to them, so I know they had to look at it.
Yeah.
But when you get this much proof, you don't want to say you seen it.
Yeah.
Because if you seen it,
you got to do something.
well, you got to do something.
Yeah.
I sent papers, all these people, I sent papers out of town. I sent papers to the Inspector General of the HAMP program.
Yeah.
You understand? I sent papers to the Judicial Board reporting these judges that committing this stuff in the courtroom. These are from the Judicial Board.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These are for the Illinois Division of Banking. They done nothing. You understand? Here they saying neighborhood housing.